do us good. All right, now we can get some jewelry done. All right, I have a few projects to take care of that I'm gonna try to get done before I leave. I am not working today, so what we got is a sterling silver Cuban that we're gonna be making and trying to finish this one. Then I don't know, I might finish these earrings as well too. Kind of messed up on the bezel. But I made them a long time ago and then I just threw them together, so I might just redo one of them, or I might just put them on the website for sale because it's still not too bad, or open this up and then shave this stone down and call it good. One I didn't know how soft the stone was going to be, so it was pretty easy to take care of that. And then I do have this chain, and I have a little bit of a smaller cable link, so I might go with a little bit of a bigger one just to get a little extra weight. So, and another thing that I got to get done is for my buddy. I got all this silver right here, and I have to make him a chain as well too that I told him I would do. And so yeah, we'll see. It's a very interesting chain, but I need to order probably more solder for this because I gotta use my materials, and I don't have too much sterling silver hard solder left anymore. So, but let's get chugging. I am going to solder these links. I'm going to solder these links shut, and then we're going to do the twist on this. Hopefully no links break. That is always the goal. And yeah, then we'll go from there. But it's going to be a nice bracelet. This is a gift. I don't know what clasp we're going to go with, but we'll see. I don't know. It might be a box lock. I got some sterling silver here to make a box lock. And I don't know how much time I'm gonna dedicate today because this is my day off, but let's add a little bit of alcohol. And let's just get chugging. Let me move this one step to the, I don't think that's helping. Let's see here. I need to have that there. That might be better for y'all. And then if anyone chats, I think I should be able to see it. Let's see, live chat is, yes, visible. Awesome. So feel free to ask your questions. If y'all have questions, whether it's during the live stream or after the live stream, I'll do my best to try to get back to you. If you guys have questions, if you guys are starting out goldsmithing or silversmithing, whatever, doing jewelry. Professionally, I am a goldsmith, and I still have a love for silver because I never practiced and I never started on anything other than silver. I didn't do copper, I didn't do brass or anything. I just got into silver, and that was it. So, all right, got the coffee going. Let's get a little bit of snacks. All right. Now I'm just gonna go after this. And start You know what you can do is a couple of different things. You can do your best to get all the links lined up in one solder row. If you have enough space between the links, then that's recommended. But if you don't, let me see real quick. I really got to try to get this over one more. There we go. Because I need you guys to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. That might be good. I just can't turn the camera this way. There we go. I think that's back to the same position. All right, there we go. So like I said, you can move them all in one direction. What I generally just do is I just go at it. And we got our flux right here, so we're ready. And I'm using a number 5 tip for the Smith mini torch. And then I just grab wire, solder wire. It's the best, especially when you're doing chains instead of doing chip solder. So if you're making custom chains, wire will probably be a way better friend than chip solder. That's the way I like to go about it. And I'm just looking for links that look easy to hit with some solder real quick. With a little bit of moving and manipulation, adding a little bit of flux to it. That's gonna be easy. And trying to get as many as I can in one go. All right, there we go. Start going at it. All right. Let's see, just pick a spot and go. Now you want to get it hot, but not too hot, because you don't want it to overflow. If it is, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. With silver, it kind of sucks a little bit more, because wherever there's solder, there's going to be oxidation in the future. But with gold, you don't really have the same issue, which is pretty nice. There we go, just a little bit of solder on that bad boy. This one looks pretty easy. And you want to heat below the link when working on silver, below the link and above the link right where your soldering is. And then just hit your spot that you want and kind of dedicate your flame to that. You really don't want to heat the whole link up to the same temperature, to flow temperature, because let's see, that one looks easy. Because if you heat the link up to flow temperature, the whole link, then when you put your solder down, it's gonna flow to the sides. It's gonna flow from the left to the right, and then hit your other links. And that's when you're gonna start seeing links being joined together. They're not gonna flow. And the name of the game is to use as little solder as possible, especially on silver. Okay. Come on. And when you have really tight grouping, it's good, but it makes it more challenging to solder because the links don't want to move. But you'll have a really tight Cuban. There won't be too much space in between for it to flow and jiggle around, but you'll still get that flowing Cuban later on. It's just as you're working with it, not so much. There we go. Hit it from the back. Sweet. Look for a couple more. The ends are always easy to hit. Let's see, there's one right here. And patience is key. You don't want to rush too much. It's okay to go fast, but if your quality is going down, then you're sacrificing what you can earn off of it, because people like perfection. Most people don't like half booty jewelry, even though it might still be good. A lot of the stuff that I've made when I was newer at being a goldsmith or silversmith at that time, I don't know, I never really considered myself a silversmith because I'd work on silver and gold at the same time. If you could work on silver, you could work on gold, that's for sure. But that stuff, it might not have looked the greatest, but that stuff will last forever, that's for sure. I've always tried to make my stuff, and that's kind of the problem I have a little bit as well. I think it's a good problem, but I've always made my stuff thick to last for, you know, a couple generations and whatnot. I never wanted someone to buy my jewelry and then it break down, you know, a week down the road. I've always liked my jewelry to be kept in someone's family for a long time, because that's the best type of jewelry. You know, your dad had a chain and gave it to you, and you gave it to your son, or what have you, or you know, your mother got a wedding ring, and then she gave it to you, and you know, just keeping it in the family. I've always liked that, and designing jewelry that can be worked on in the future and fixed. That's very important. A lot of people like these intricate designs on their jewelry, on their wedding rings and pendants, and it looks nice, but it is a pain in the butt to repair. So, you know, some things it's, you know, I don't really get the choice to say no to repairs. I have to repair everything, even if it's a pain in the butt and not worth my time. You know, but honestly, some things are just not good repairs when I send them out, because that's just the style of jewelry. And you know, you can't necessarily tell the customer that. It's just they just won't understand. You just fix it just like it was new, and then if it breaks in a couple of weeks, they say, why did it break now? Well, that's just the style of jewelry that you bought. You know, you got something with 1 million diamonds in it, and they're all super small, and you know, nothing is secure. So you start losing diamonds or what have you. So there's only so much you could do sometimes. But when you do the old school jewelry, it's solid, it's thick. You know, it lasts a lot longer, and it's able to be repaired, which is awesome. And we're making good progress on this Cuban. So this is just how I go about it. Like I said, is I look for a couple of links that I could just quickly, easy solder, and just add some flux to it real quick. And then I just start turning it, because as the links start getting hot, sometimes it's easier to manipulate them. So I just start moving it around, and then when it looks like everything is done, or I'm up to the links that I need to physically move with some pliers, then that's when, let's see, yeah, there's that one right there. Then that's when I'll put it into the pickle and get those up front and center. And oh, that link might be a weak spot when I twist it. There's a little bit more of a gap than I would like. Yeah, like some links like this one I can't turn with my pliers, so I'm gonna have to hit that on the next pass, but this one's giving me a little bit of space, which is nice. So I just try to get as much as I can in one sitting. I really don't like to put pliers on the Cubans unless I absolutely have to. And I don't make these a lot, so none of my tools are really set up for this process, which makes it harder. It's not impossible, but certain things, certain parts of the process, it makes it harder. Such as my tools are meant for repairs, not custom, so I generally don't polish my tools. I have a lot of tools that have grooves on them as well too, for holding metal and holding thick metal and thick chains. And so, you know, it'll mar your links up. And if you're making it brand new, you have to, so I'm add a little bit more right there. You have to be mindful of every time you put a tool on your work, that's something you're gonna have to take care of at some point. Or you can just leave it how it is, and you know, it just won't be fine jewelry, it'll be okay jewelry. And there's a time and place for that. There really is. Come on, solder, let me lift off. There we go. Starting to get a little bit too much solder right there on that join. There we go. For example, the chain that I'm wearing, and this chain as well too. I didn't want perfection. I didn't want it to look like it was bought from a store or anything. I wanted the old school look of just kind of medieval. And so I left the tool marks in there, and just I did some things that would look a little bit more age appropriate for the piece, kind of like the Byzantine era. So that was pretty fun. And that chain was just a little bit too thick for what I like to wear. I really don't like super big, thick jewelry anymore. I gotta close that gap up a little bit more. That's a little bit too spaced out. Okay, so now we're getting to the point where we're about to just dip it into the pickle, clean up the metal, and there we go. Oh, there's one right there. Let me hit that before I turn it. Clean up the metal, and then hit the final last couple of links. Oh. All right, see, so sometimes that solder can flow real quick, and you got to be careful. Oh, let's do this one. So we're making good progress. I want to say probably at least half the chain is already soldered by now. There we go. All right. This is looking good. This is looking good. There we go. Gonna hit this one. And then once we're done soldering all of this, then we're going to anneal it and just pray that we anneal it completely all the way around, so that way when we go to twist it, put the twist in it, it doesn't cause us any trouble. And that's one of the small problems I have with my shop, is it's not set up for custom chains anymore, so putting the twist on these is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. But this is going to be a really cool gift. So it's funny, as a goldsmith, I really don't care about how my jewelry looks. And I'm talking about my personal jewelry, because usually I just rush through my own personal jewelry and I take time on other people's jewelry. So usually my stuff looks half butt, and then everyone else gets really nice things. But it's just nice knowing that whatever anyone is wearing, I can always make it. So if I ever want something, I just grab some metal and I'll just go make it. Doesn't matter how many diamonds, it doesn't matter what metal you use. Make it out of silver, make it out of gold, make it out of platinum. You know, it's not common anymore that there's, I mean, so when it comes down to goldsmithing, yeah, or working on, let's just start with working on jewelry. Everyone calls themselves a jeweler nowadays. You could just play with some wire and whatnot and you call yourself a jeweler. I think that's comical, but good for them. I call them just hobbyists. But they're a dime a dozen. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But they're a dime a dozen, and that's why there's no money in silver. Also, the metal is cheap for right now. And then when you step up and you start working on gold, there's more money in gold. It's more of an expensive metal. There's more risk. And that's when you start getting into fine jewelry. So detail matters on everything. And if you're able to perfect your skill, whether it's in repair, custom, whatnot, there's a lot more money. Then, you know, you jump on, usually, for the most part, you'll also be working with diamonds and setting diamonds, setting engagement rings, and start doing the big boy stuff. And that's when you're really a goldsmith, whether you're in repair or custom. And I don't mean CAD, and I don't mean you're just designing. You be a jewelry designer. It doesn't make you a goldsmith, and it doesn't make you a jeweler. But you could be designing. And then what's even more rare, which is you won't find it too much. Some people still do, and for myself, to find platinum smiths where you can work on platinum, and that's very, very hard. This is why platinum is very, very expensive. It's actually cheaper than gold to buy per ounce in its rawest form, but anything manufactured, anything taken care of, or processed, I should say, or in jewelry, you're going to pay more for it than gold because of how difficult it is of a metal to work with. Gold is actually relatively easy to work with. Silver is harder to work with, and platinum comes from silver, so it's even harder to work with. You're pretty much fusing everything. All right, so we're going to put this into the pickle, clean up that metal, and then we're going to look at the links that we still have left and take care of these ones. but platinum, you're pretty much fusing all the metal that you have. There is solder. Let's see here. Is there a way I can? I want to get this turned a little bit more this way. Let me see here. Let's see. Trying my best for y'all. Oh, I don't know. Let me put this in here real quick. Yeah, I got one of those bendable. Oh shoot! This is turning out bad. It's turning out bad. Oh, that's funny. All right. That might be acceptable. I don't know. Dang. Okay. There we go. I think that's gonna be good. That's kind of what I want. I think that might make it easier. All right, and it's still turned this way. Oh well. At least you can see the bench and everything. That's the important part. But not too many people are platinum smiths, and so if you got a piece of platinum jewelry, it's gonna be pretty hard to find someone to repair it. It's not impossible, but oh man, those are just stiff. I don't know what happened to my pliers. There we go. It's not impossible, but it is definitely a whole lot harder. Oh, that's 1,000 times better. It's 1,000 times better. All right, so this is one of those times where, like I said, is I don't have proper pliers. So these ones actually have some grooves in them, but there's nothing I can do. I'm gonna have to use it. I gotta pinch a couple more of these links closer together. That's how you get a nice, strong solder seam. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark the ones that I have left to solder. Okay, so start at one end, kind of go down. There's another one. Okay. And it's not a problem if you want to do this. This is also another good quick way to do it. I always look for quick, efficient, as long as it doesn't take away from the quality. Is I got 2 links right here that are ready to go. So I'm just gonna solder those 2. Call it good. Now my torch is pretty hot, but not super overbearing. I'm just hearing a slight hissing. It's shh. So that's about, that's the sound that you want for silver. And that tells you the temperature of the flame as well too, as well as the cone and the color. There's a whole bunch of little tips and tricks when using a Smith micro torch. That the hissing will tell you the temperature of the flame. And the cone will tell you the color. There's a whole bunch of little tips and tricks when using a Smith micro torch. That the hissing will tell you the temperature of the flame. And the cone will tell you the color. There's a whole bunch of little tips and tricks when using a Smith micro torch. That the hissing will tell you the temperature of the flame. because metal melts at a certain temperature. So if your flame is not to that temperature, then you're not going to, let's see, I think that's it. I think I only have one or two more left to solder. I got this one right here. So I'm gonna solder that. Oh yeah, I got this one right here. Okay. Yeah, I only have a couple more left. But you can tell the temperature of the flame by looking at it, the cone, how the cone of the flame is. You can also tell the temperature of the flame by hearing it, and that takes just time. But generally, you don't want hissing, and this is a loose rule. I would say probably pretty loose, because I don't follow it, but well, I do and I don't, right? It's not something that I just keep in my mind saying, oh, I don't, it's hissing, I don't want this. That might solder together. Let's see here. Dang it. All right. So when you have a problem like this, right? Because I have my alcohol here on the left. Best thing to do is not freak out. It's okay. Just take your brush, blow it out. That's all good. Then just grab a cap, put it right on top, call it good. And you're solid. Not having one of those really sucks. Not having an electric one sucks even more. So I have to pull all my wire by hand. It's hand and foot. Hand and foot. I got no machines that help me along with my process. Other than I have a decent rolling mill that I enjoy. It's not the Durston I wanted, but it's from Pepe. Pepe Tools makes some pretty decent equipment. It's not my favorite. They are cheaper, and they definitely save money on certain things. But I had a couple of Durston rolling mills with some previous companies that I worked for, and I fell in love with them. I really fell in love with them because Durston is just solid. It's a solid brand for rolling mills, and we're gonna solder this one right here. All right, what time is it? It's almost 2. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, so I might even just get this done and call it good. I don't know. I really need to make some stuff for my website. So, I don't know. And still remember, the name of the game is use as little solder as possible. The good part, though, is some of this solder will be taken care of when we go to file our Cuban bracelet. But you can't rely on that. You cannot rely on that. So it's best to use as little as possible. Okay. Oh, you know what? If that's stuck, it's stuck. There we go. And like I said, it's you want to use as little as possible too for silver, even though silver is cheaper than gold. Not necessarily for the price, but for how it looks long term. There we go. Now I love, let's see, did those, oh no, those didn't get soldered together. Okay. Now I love when jewelry starts oxidating, and this is oxidation that's man-made, or coaxed along. Here's another Cuban that I made that has the oxidation. Now this one is going to be a whole lot tighter than this one. This was a fun one, but I like the oxidation look. Some people don't, but silver either way is going to oxidize whether you like it or not. But if you want to prevent it from the joints from showing up very quickly, then you use as little as possible. Okay, so now I'm just checking all the links. I think there's one that I still need to press together, but it looks like I soldered them all actually, so I must have pressed that link. Check in. All right, so before I get this, all right, you start doing this to kind of loosen it up a little bit because it still catches. And then if it's kinking on you like this, then just grab some wood and just pull it through, and then it'll be nice and flat. And so this is how the Cuban is made, is you just have the links and then you start twisting it, and then when you over twist it, it'll start flattening out. So I'm going to anneal this metal first. It's pretty much annealed, but just double checking. I'm going to anneal the sterling silver, make it soft. So I'm going to coil it up in a circle. I'm going to turn off the lights because I really want to be able to see the color. You just want a nice light glow. And so now I'm also using the rosebud tip. And this one, you're hearing the screaming a little bit, but it's just like the other tip. And keep moving the flame around. Keep moving around because it's going to heat up quick. And then I get my tweezers to be able to move it and flip it to the other side. And with silver, you want to slowly heat the metal to anneal it. You don't want to heat it up very, very quickly, but you still want it quick. And so we're starting to get some orange color. So move your flame even quicker. And we're starting to get a nice light orange, which is great. And then you can keep it in the circle or open it up. I'm just going over the link. You want a light orange but not dark orange because you don't want your solder to melt. There we go. And then you can see some of the hotter spots where the solder is. It has a different color to it. So once this stops glowing orange, and you can see it in the dark, if you're beginning, doing it in the dark is how you really should do it, so you can get a feel of seeing exactly when the metal is going to be dead soft, and then when to put it, when to put it into the pickle. So now that the color is almost all the way gone, you don't see the red anymore, then it's okay to put it into the pickle. And you'll have that instant reaction with the water. You'll hear the shh. If you have your metal too hot and you put it into the water, it creates a vortex around it. There's a barrier. It will not instantly have a reaction. You won't hear the shh. It'll stay in the water, and if you look at it, it'll have a barrier, an air barrier, and then it'll cool down, and then you'll hear an instant shh, and that means you overheated your metal. Or not really overheated, but you were too quick to quench it, so it's not going to be dead soft. So now, since we did that, everything is nice and white. That means the metal is clean and ready for twisting. So this is done a couple of different ways. You can take this chain right now and just start twisting it and call it good. Or what you can do is try your best. Well, the goal is to get the links all the same way. So wherever the solder point is, you want that facing one direction. As you twist, it actually helps you when you twist, because you don't want, you generally don't want the solder to be on the sides, because when you go to twist, it'll start breaking at those points. It's not the end of the world if that happens, and this one is actually so tight I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. There's really not much space to be able to do that. So you'll see I have a feeling that this is going to break a lot, and that's not the greatest thing. I just kind of went at it. Some links have a little bit extra space than I'd like, and some are a little bit tighter than I'd like as well too. You know, that's just because of how quickly you go about making your chains. If you just go quickly, then not everything is going to be the same size. In the final product, you won't really notice because everything's going to stretch out a little bit. But at this point of the chain making, you'll notice that slight variance. But it is actually better to have just a very slight gap, so that way you can move the links around and manipulate them a little bit easier. I ended up with this chain going at a 3.2 millimeter wire wrapped around a 5 millimeter dowel, and that gave me a really tight Cuban link that we're going to be twisting up. But it would have been easier if I would have went down to maybe, let's say, a 3.1 millimeter wire around a 5 millimeter dowel. And there's calculations that you can do to see how much wire you're going to need, and also how what dowel you're going to need for the millimeter width of the chain that you're making. So if you need a 10 millimeter Cuban, then you get the wire that you need, and then the millimeter that you want, and then multiply that by pi, and that'll tell you what dowel to use, what size dowel do you want. And so let's get this set up on my vise and start doing the Cuban twist. Let's see if I can get this pointed over there. Okay. And this is always the fun pain in the butt part. Or I should say one of the pain in the butt parts. Making a Cuban chain by hand it's always a lot of labor intensive. All right. Ooh, I got that in there good, didn't I? I did get that jammed in there good. All right. So we're gonna move the vise around. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do it this way? Yeah, we'll do it this way. So I have this side plugged in, aimed at me. Get that nice and tight. All right. Let's see if I can get you pointed over here. There we go. All right. And always keep in mind, if you guys are making your own Cuban chains, the first link that you use is most likely going to be a garbage link. Sometimes not, but it depends on how you vise it. So you only want a quarter of this link pinched into the vise, but you want it nice and tight. You don't want it overbearing though. Now here's the trick, right? Here's the tricky part. Is how are y'all gonna twist it? So I might use the other link actually. You gotta put a steel dowel into it, unless you have a drill. A drill will help too, so I gotta figure this out because these are actually pretty tight. I might just do it a different way. This is why I was saying my shop's not really set up to do this anymore. When I had my shop set up at home, I could crank out Cuban chains left and right. But most of my tools now are in storage. So let's figure this out. All right. One way we can overcome this problem. Oh, there's two things I'm thinking of right now. We can overcome this problem in two different ways. I can either stretch this link out by crimping it and hopefully creating enough space for one of these dowels to fit in, which I might do. It's almost there, and I think I have enough room to do it. Or I can go and get some more silver, make another link, but a larger link, solder that on with hard solder, and use that link to crank and turn. But I don't want to use that much silver. I don't want to go back under the torch. So what I'm going to do is flatten one of these just a little bit more. Just a tad. And that should give me enough space for the dowel. I might use a smaller dowel. Let's see. That might be good. Alright. Something that's also really handy when making Cuban chains is get a block of wood so you can flatten it back out. But in jewelry making, when you're making chains, you always want to go with a right twist. Most stuff is made with a right twist. Why? I have no idea. But I have been noticing that a lot of custom stuff nowadays, which is causing the jewelry to see and then slowly twist and it's holding its shape, go back, which is causing the jewelry to kink up on people while they're wearing it because they're putting a left twist into it, which is funny. And so we're going to be able to get maybe a couple more twists out of this and then anneal it some more. It's getting a little bit stiffer. Well, it's getting quite stiff, but it's creating this shape. I don't know if you guys can see it. There we go. I might do one more twist, checking the links as I go. There we go. And just one more. That'd be good. There we go. Yeah, that's tight enough. All right. So now we're gonna take it out. And when you take it out, it doesn't look like much has changed. But then when you start twisting it, then you can see it starting to take shape. So now we're going to anneal it again. Let's see if I can get you guys down here for this. Ah, dang it. Okay. You know what? I'll anneal it a different way so that way y'all can see. All right, let's catch it on fire. All right. So we're looking for that light orange pumpkin glow, and then we're gonna let it get dark and then quench it into the pickle to clean up all the metal, and that'll be dead soft. When you're twisting the Cuban chain, don't overdo it. If it's causing you a little bit of extra muscle while you're doing the twist, stop and go anneal it, because it's 1,000 times easier to anneal the bracelet as you're twisting it than it is to get the twist in there, have it break at certain points, and then solder it. Because sometimes if you don't have all the links lined up, and if you do have all the links lined up, those are going to be the spots that are the hardest to solder. But we're getting a nice light pumpkin. Keep the flame moving. The great part about silver is the heat transfer is really quick. All right, we got our light pumpkin. Now we're just gonna wait until it stops glowing. Once it's no longer glowing, then that's when you can put it into the pickle. You can blow on it, you can put it on a piece of steel. putting it on a little bit of steel works. And you cannot rush the annealing process. You can rush everything else for the most part and not really have any problems. But if you rush the annealing, then you're gonna destroy your metal. Your project is gonna turn out like crap, and it's gonna cause you more frustration in the long run than necessary. All right, let's get you looking back over here. There we go. I think that should be good. See? So when you don't rush, you have perfectly dead soft metal to work with. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Flatten it out, and then look for the side that you clamp down, which should be easy to spot because you'll have little flat spots or little grooves that bit into it, and the other side will be just perfect. Now I made this one oblong ever so slightly for the steel bar, but that's a good way to tell. There we go. Make sure it's straight, and you want to pinch it at the exact same spot that you pinched it before. Get it nice and tight. Get any kinks out, and then go back to the spot where you had it turned. This is real easy because you've already turned it. And then go real tight, or not real tight, but tighten it up. Go over your links again, so that way they sit into place, because you're creating those divots in the Cuban chain. So you don't want it to kink up, and you want nice solid tension pulling backwards, not too much, because you still want it. It's going to compress. The chain is going to compress, so you want it straight, but not too much. And then just do slow little turns. This spot's kind of kinking up a little bit, so that's why you want nice solid pressure going backwards, nice and straight. But you also want to let the chain do what it's going to do. And let me zoom in so that way you guys can see. Hopefully, there we go. So I have it, going over it, a little extra. There we go. Probably one more turn. There we go. Back to annealing, but it looks way different now, and it's already starting to hold the twist. So probably maybe this annealing session, and then maybe one more, and it'll be perfect. I really like doing it with the lights off, so it helps, especially for the beginners as well too. When you have the lights on, you aren't going to see the same color. You're going to see a completely different color. But burning myself. There we go. But it is doable in the light. But if you're going for perfection, it's easier just to do it in the dark. So I'm gonna anneal this just real quick. I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as possible. without moving the camera around too much, because I really just want to get this twist done. And every single part of making a Cuban chain is time consuming. This is why if someone came to me and asked me to make a Cuban chain custom for them, you know, I mean, they're gonna pay a lot of money, even if it's silver. You know, go buy yours online, I'd say, you know, and go enjoy that quality, because you'll get it cheaper. But if you want something handmade, custom for you, that'll last a long, long time, then you're gonna pay a good amount of money for it, because it's labor intensive. Especially when you do the old school techniques that last forever, mixed with some modern styles. Put your time and energy into it. And at a certain size, machines don't make Cubans. They still don't have machines to make certain size Cubans, so that's the cool part. But out of gold, I would actually make a Cuban out of gold for a better price than I would probably charge as far as profit is concerned. I'd give you a discount on gold than silver, because the gold makes it valuable and expensive either way. So there's a decent profit to be made just by working on gold. But when people hear the prices of sterling silver, they'll say that's not worth it, because silver is only $40 an ounce or $38 an ounce. Why do you want $400 or $500 for this Cuban chain? Because of the labor that goes into it. Now, if you have 14 karat gold and you do the same size Cuban bracelet, then you still might only make $400 or $500 on the chain. But it's worth it, because one, it's easier. It's easier, and you're getting a good profit either way, and people are willing to pay for that little bit of increase because it is gold. But when people hear silver, you know, like this bracelet might be about maybe 2 ounces before filing. You know, they say, well, that's only $80 worth of material. Why are you charging $400 or $500? They don't want to pay that. Okay, well, go make it yourself then. That's my attitude about it. All right. So we're finding the link that we had clamped down already again. So right here. Oh, no. It's this one. My bad. And it is very important you use the same link, because if you don't use the same link, you're going to be twisting it the opposite way and get everything all messed up. Alright, so I put it in, flatten the links, and then I just go back to the spot to where it was twisted. And it'll hold its form here in a little bit. We're almost to the point to where it'll hold its form. So, slight pressure backwards. You want to make sure that it stays straight. Oh shoot, yeah, I got it zoomed in, okay. And then twist. Ah, see, there we go. I overdid it. So it can happen. So this link ended up breaking. So, and then see, that's where it causes a problem. Because because then you got to bend it back and then solder it. But it's okay. It's okay. Things happen, and it's all right. Now you can either take that link out or call it good. And see, this is why I'm saying this is why it makes it harder, because the twist is going right here, and that's where the solder point is. So when that twist gets to a certain point, you're not going to be able to solder it so easily without fusing the links together. Okay. So let's get that back down like that. And then I'm gonna solder that section real quick. I'm going to anneal it. It's getting harder to twist, so I'm gonna have to probably anneal it a couple more times than I anticipated. I'm gonna go solder this real quick, and then we're gonna anneal it again. And that could have been for me overheating that link as well too. That's very possible. But it's starting to get a nice little twist. There we go. I got a really hot flame, so this is going real quick to solder. There we go. All right. Now I'm gonna put this in the pickle real quick. Then we're gonna dip it back into the alcohol. And we're gonna anneal it. And I'm just gonna do a regular annealing. Let's see. See if I can try to get you. It'd be nice if I could just have this horizontal and just able to follow me around. That'd be great. I need to eat some lunch. Haven't eaten all day. All right. Let's get the torch. Hot, but not too hot. And we're gonna anneal it with the lights on. So on this, we're just gonna be looking for a slight color change. It's not gonna be the pumpkin color that we're looking for. We're gonna start seeing the metal get black. That's oxidation, that's the air that's going into the metal, reacting with the sterling silver and the solder. All the dirty parts are gonna turn first. And you'll see a little bit of an orange glow, but it's not gonna be bright at all. And that's what we're looking for. Like, it's already starting to get there. The solder points are already starting to turn reddish, which is a sign that it's already to that point. The metal gets whiter, and then if you overheat it, which also the solder will probably start flowing, the metal will start turning black and different colors. All right, there we go. We got the slight color change. We'll slowly go over them all, and then watch. See? So that's annealed. It's really hard to see during the day, but that's annealed right there. And then we just wait until this changes colors back to normal color. It's not glowing. That's a good color right there. Then we put it into the pickle to clean it off and to anneal it. This is quenching it. And once you quench it, then it's annealed. And that is the annealing process. So now we have white metal again. A little bit of black right there, or red. And that can happen. You can leave it in the pickle for a little bit longer. And then not worry about it. All right, so we're gonna go back to twisting. There we go. And this is the one. Oh, dang it, it turned on me. Turned on me again. Come on. Why are you turning on me? That's weird. Okay. Whatever. It'll still work. All right. All right, let's get our dowel back. Which one are we using? I really wish I could be using something a little bit thicker than this, but it'll work. All right, there we go. That's the point of the twist. This is where you want to start pulling really back on. There we go. There we go. All right. I felt one cracking just a little bit up here. Yeah, so it's the starting link. The one that I had pinched down. So that one started cracking just a little bit. But we're starting to get the twist. Like I said, labor intensive. But the final product is something that'll last for a long time. For a long, long time. All right. Come on. There we go. And so I'm gonna fix this and anneal it real quick once again. Appreciate you guys sticking around this long. All right. Hopefully you guys are learning what goes into making a Cuban. All right, so let me fix this little spot. All right. And now I'm going to anneal it real quick. One more time. And I know I said probably just once or twice more, but I think this time I only have 2 more nails. I think after this one, 2 more nails, and I should have a nice, perfectly flat Cuban. All right. And I'm getting hungry. It's already 2:30. Been at this for a couple hours, almost. For about an hour and a half. Talked to the wife on her lunch break. And so what I'm doing now again is looking for the color change. The color change is going to be the solder changes colors first, and then you'll start seeing the solders as they get cool and hot when you move the flame around. It looks like they're pulsing a little bit. And then start looking for the metal to change. The metal will get very white, and then it'll slowly start getting a little dark. And that darkness is the red pumpkin color that we're looking for, like right there. And so now we just wait for it to cool down. Like I said, you can put it on a block of steel. And we got steel over here. There we go. Nice and cooled down. There we go. Get some of the acid off. Dry it off. And then go back and twist. There we go. Here's the fixed link. Once again. All right. Yeah, the links are looking pretty good. There's one I'm a little worried about on this one, but it's in a good spot, so I think we're pretty solid. All right. All right, let's get this back in the vise. There we go. We got one cracking right there. If you see anything cracking, yeah, I was a little worried about a couple of these links. If you see anything cracking, stop and fix it first, because a crack is a lot easier to take care of than a broken link, especially when these turns and twists are already getting in there, because the metal's touching each other already. So you don't want to freeze these links up, and that's the frustrating part, right? Is these twists are already in there. There we go. If I can get it held like that, that'll be perfect. So the twists are already in there, and the metal is touching metal. That you'll freeze the links up if you have to do this too many times. And that's the frustrating part. I am definitely not the best at making Cubans. I think I do pretty good. But for how little I do it, I'm sure that there's things I could definitely improve on. And this is one of them. And this is why you don't rush. You do not rush. Just take your time. If you gotta kneel it again, kneel it again. And I'm saying this kind of as a reminder to myself, because I'm a very impatient jeweler too, so I understand. Oh shoot, that's getting hot on the hand. There we go. Patience. I'm gonna see if I could take care of that other one that I saw. There was another one that looked like it was going to crack. And that's just because I didn't solder the greatest on that one. That's just the truth. Yeah, it's right here. There's a little tiny opening. Let's see, let's put that back real quick. There's a little tiny opening, and that's because the solder didn't flow all the way through. And that is nothing but just, dang it. Oh well, I'm gonna let you burn for right now. I gotta fix this. All right, I got the pot of alcohol on fire. I want to take care of this link before it becomes a problem for me. There we go. All right, now I'm going to take care of this alcohol. There we go. All right. Now it smells like burnt plastic. All right. Now let's clean up this metal again. Let's anneal it. Oh shoot, wrong tip for annealing. All right, so we're gonna anneal this real quick and then get back on the twist. All right. And remember, you don't want it screeching too loud, because you're just oxidizing your metal at that point. And you're overheating it. There we go. I still got water, yes I do. Now we're just letting it cool down just a little bit. All right. Ooh, that's hot. There we go. Clean my metal. There we go. Go back to the twist. Yeah, the reason why I'm fixing it so much though too is because I'm getting impatient, which I shouldn't be. And I'm going for a little bit extra turns when I shouldn't be. And you can feel it in the metal when you shouldn't be doing something. And I say this as a hypocrite because I'm over here rushing the process and I shouldn't be. For me, I like getting things done. Just boom, 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 boom. Just get it done. Just get it done. Just get it done. Come on. I gotta get you back. There we go. All right. This is the one that I put the bar through. And this is the one that I pinch. Come on. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta force it just a little bit. almost there. It's looking good. So I'm excited to give this gift away. I hope the young man that gets this enjoys it and cherishes it. Alright, slow turn. Slow turn. Slow turn, just a little bit more. I think I can get away with. There we go. Back to the annealing. But we're getting a really nice twist on it. Really nice, and it's almost flat now. Almost flat. Yeah, at this point, I really don't want to rush it because this is a very critical point. So, when we almost have the full twist going on, I would say, especially if you're doing it by hand, take extra time at the very end, because if you break it here, it's extremely hard to fix and repair. So just take a little extra time, anneal it a couple extra times if you need, and you'll have a really good twist. If the metal starts really fighting you and not wanting to twist, then it's hard somewhere. So just, there we go. So just go anneal it. There we go. All right. So now we have the orange. Nice and hot, nice and hot. So we're gonna cool it down. Let it show right there for right now. I might edit this video and do a custom video. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know how much time I got though. I do a lot of stuff already, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, so it should be cooled enough. There we go. Nice and clean. You can always tell the metal is nice and clean and you did a good job if it comes out white. If it doesn't come out white, you did something wrong, or maybe just not good enough. All right, so this is the twist that we got going on. And it's a really nice chain so far. So, all right, that's the section that we twist. This is the section that, yes. So let's get back in here. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. I might just leave the overhead light off. I like this atmosphere, actually. Just calm, peaceful. Ooh, that's looking good. That's looking good. There we go. Gonna anneal it again. And this is the twist that we're getting. And so it's almost flat. That's a beautiful part. Slow and steady wins the race. And the quality looks great. All right. So I'm gonna turn off the lights for this. Definitely not good for live stream, but if I edit this video, then it'll be good. And turning off the lights, there's really no, take your pride away from it. I get prideful as well too from time to time, where, you know, I say I've been doing this for so long. I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that, and it just causes problems sometimes. For me, if I gotta turn the lights off, just so I can make sure I'm doing a perfect job, then there's no problem in doing that. For the most part, I don't. I just go at it. I'm sure a lot of jewelers understand, if you've been doing this for a long time, is some of the basic things that we started doing when we first started learning, we really don't do anymore, even though we probably should, because when you've been in repair for so long, whatever problem occurs, you just handle it. You just handle it. It's just, all right, here's a problem. All right, I'll just take care of it. So we have a perfectly annealed chain again. Well, it's in the annealing process, but as a goldsmith, as a jeweler, you know, if you've been doing it for a long time, like I said, it's just, if there's a problem that arises, we take care of it, we handle it, and then just go on. So, you know, turning off the lights and whatnot, you know, if it's a little bit too hard, oh well, you know, just go do it again. Especially with gold, it's easier to anneal gold than it is silver, but I like annealing silver better, and so on. So silver is time consuming, very, very time consuming. And this is why most people make trash silver jewelry. And not that it's, let's see, well, no, it's just trash. I'll just be real. It's just, you know, that's why they make trash jewelry. I make trash jewelry too. Like some of these earrings that I've made, not the best quality. Well, one of them's really not the best quality. But you just go at it, and it's so cheap that, you know, if anything happens, oh well. And but if you take your time, and then also silver takes forever to work with because of the high temperature. Because of the high temperature it requires to work with. This is also why there's not really many platinum smiths in the world, because if you have a hard time working with silver and making it look perfect, there we go. I think I could get a little bit more. I don't want to rush it. There we go. I'm gonna stop right there. We're so close. But if you have a hard time making sterling silver look perfect, then you're not gonna do good working with platinum at all, because platinum is extremely hard, frustrating. It's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt. But for me, I love challenges. I mean, I complain. I complain about challenges. You know, I try my best not to anymore. But and that's just because of salvation and God and whatnot. You know, it's not really the best to be cussing. But you know, I would cuss up a storm saying F this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And then when I get going and I get it done, or just start going with it, then it's not a problem. And then I finish the project, and or the repair, and then I'm proud of myself, like a job good done, or a job well done. And it's just about me. Is I complain. I love what I do and I hate what I do at the same time. But I suppose that's probably just like any other job out there. You have things you love, you have things you hate, and you have things that pay the bills. But we're almost there to, almost there to getting a flat Cuban. And we might call it just at the twist. We might just call it good just at the twist, because this is a process. I got a little bit of time, just a little bit actually, that I gotta get it done before my wife flies out. So that way she could deliver this gift. And oh, what's that? I don't know what that was. Oh, that's okay. That's why it's burning the wood. I know what that is. It's a piece of gold. But yeah, when my wife flies out, she'll be able to deliver the gift and call it good. And that's here in a few more days. Oh shoot, I didn't even realize that. Shoot. Man, my wife's gonna be gone here in just a little bit, for a bit. And I'm gonna have to start making my own food. That sucks. I forgot about that, because that's coming up quick. I don't want that day to go. I don't want that day to go. I like my wife cooking. That sucks. All right, come on. Come on, you little link. Come on, you little link. You know you want to. There we go. All right, it wants to go in there. It's being a stubborn little booty. There we go. We are almost there, folks. We're almost there. I'm so happy. So happy. This is always a joyous time. Keep it straight. Keep good tension. I think maybe just one more kneel. And we're good. Now this middle section's not doing the greatest, but that's also because that's where we repaired it. There we go. So much more flat. So much more flat. Oh yeah, that's hard. So we're gonna kneel it. And this is what we're getting so far. So it's almost perfect. Almost perfect. All right, let's turn the lights off. This is a very critical part. So I want to go as fast as possible while taking my time. And I want to go eat some lunch. My wife made me some steak with broccoli and mashed potatoes. And that sounds real good right about now. But I think I'm going to get this twist in, and then I'm going to shoot on home because it's already almost 3 p.m. And I still got studying to do and figure out what we're going to be doing for live stream tonight. So once I get this twist in there, then I'm calling it a day. I think this one or one more, and we'll have a perfectly flat Cuban. There we go. All right, so it's nice and hot. Let's go bring it back to the cool off block. Yeah, I think I could get the final twist in there on this one if I do it right. And this will be the final twist. And then, you know what? I do want to turn this into a bracelet though first real quick before I leave. Get something a little bit thicker. I might do that, you know what? I'm gonna have to make some end tabs. Let's see, this is a nice chain though. All right. So see, I made a little bit of a smaller version of this. This is a thicker one. And you know what? Could just see how long is this one? I'll figure that out next. Because I want to get this done first. And then I'll worry about my own personal bracelet. That's why I brought the chain. I said, you know what, I might do a little something for myself. Okay. Wood really helps. And so we're getting a nice Cuban so far. See, and it's already holding its shape really well. This is the one that we pinch. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I didn't work on my buddies. I need to stop by Home Depot before I work on his because I need some different bits to make his chain. So I don't know if you guys can see. We're almost to the final twist. Let's see if I turn that light on. Might be better. I hope I can without breaking it. Yes. Sweet. Right now I'm just fine-tuning it. That's awesome. That's awesome right there. All right. that should be good. So now we got the Cuban. It's laying nice and flat. Oh, watch. There we go. So we got the Cuban now. Laying nice and flat. It's gonna be one great bracelet. Just gotta do a few more things to it. And once we start filing it, it's gonna be 1,000 times better too. There we go. A lot better now that we got the twist in there. Now you just go in and fine tune it. So by the side, this needs to be twisted just a little bit more from right here. And then that section is a separate section that you need to twist a little bit more. And then this final section is one that needs a little bit of fine tuning as well. So it's still pretty annealed. So how we could go about doing this is a couple different ways. Is the flat pliers. And then we got those little sections taken care of. And then you can grab the parallels and do a little extra twist. And so now we have a perfectly flat Cuban. And this is ready to go in to the rolling mill just a little bit more to roll it out, to get those links really set in there. And that's going to be your Cuban. And this is right before filing, so all the links are the same. It's all taken care of. I'm going to put it into the tumbler. And that's going to be it. So I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something, and I will see you guys later. All right.